Hey guys, my name's Nathan. This week's podcast, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on creating presentations, and also I'm going to be giving you guys a quick overview of how you can use InDesign to your advantage. So you're not stuck only using PowerPoint. There's other applications you can use like InDesign. Everything I tell you guys, this isn't. I'm not saying this is the way you should be doing it or the way you have to do it, but these are some tips that have definitely helped me give presentations in the past. You guys are going to be presenting your projects next week, so maybe you guys can carry over some of these tips into that. All right, I guess I'll get going. Maybe. All right. The first tip is has to do with content. When you're presenting, you don't want to have a wall of content behind you. If that's the case, the first thing the audience is going to do is start reading that content, and they're not going to be paying attention to you. You really want your content to be focused, so you only have on the screen what you want them to see or what you're talking about at that time. If you do have to have a ton of content up at one point, make sure you call out what you're talking about. So maybe you have to have a paragraph up, or maybe you have to have a quote up from a user that you did usability testing on. You can use call outs to kind of point out the things that you're speaking about at that time. And this can be done with color, hierarchy, layout, etc. The next tip has to do with bullets. When you have lists of bullets, don't just throw a bunch of bullets out at once. Just like the content, if you have a ton of bullets in back of you, people are going to start reading those bullets and not pay attention to you. When you do use bullets, make sure you just use them one by one. So you show the first bullet, you talk about it. You show the second bullet, you talk about it, and then same with the third and the fourth. The next tip is to use images to your advantage. Simply stated, people really like pictures. It's easy to look at and it's engaging, and it's going to make them pay attention to you. So, some benefits to using InDesign. Personally, or at least using InDesign to lay out your presentations. Personally, I'm not a PowerPoint wizard. It's just difficult for me to create my own templates, and the typography is just really hard to work with in PowerPoint. In general, just everything's really hard to customize. If you don't have any practice with layout, color, hierarchy, I probably wouldn't recommend jumping outside of PowerPoint right away. But if you do and you want to get practice doing it, just seek feedback before presenting. Feel free to ask some of the second units. You can ask me, and I'll be sure to give you a quick critique. So from there, I kind of want to show you guys how you can use InDesign to your advantage. So if you're going to be creating a presentation in InDesign rather than PowerPoint, the first thing that you want to do is you probably want to create your document so it's set up with the correct dimensions. And you can do that by going into your PowerPoint file, going to File, Page Setup, and it's listed right here. You can even change the dimensions. Maybe you want to do widescreen, and it changes those accordingly. You'll then take these dimensions, and you'll go into InDesign. You'll have your document, found the document, and then you'll just put those dimensions here. Also make sure you're not using facing pages. The next thing I want to show you guys is creating a grid or using master slides. So in this presentation, you can kind of see everything is pretty lined up. And I did that by, so like these bullets, all I did was just line up those along the left side. These are all just perfectly centered. And I did that by, in InDesign, when you move things around, it automatically just lines them up for you. PowerPoint can do this, but again, InDesign just makes it super easy. And you can notice that each slide is red. I didn't do this, but you could just put this red on a master slide by going to Pages. The master slide is listed here at the top. And then paste. And then that way it assigns whatever's on the master page, it's going to apply that to every single slide. So if you want to create your own template, this is where you'll do it. And the next thing I want to show you is how you can use alignment in InDesign to your advantage in PowerPoint. I'll show you a presentation I did last year with Anja and Stephanie Poppy, and we did a presentation on IDEO, but here, I'll kind of walk you guys through it. So I created this whole thing in InDesign, and then I exported JPEGs, and then I placed a single JPEG on each slide in PowerPoint. So you can see it seems pretty standard, but then we created this path through movement. So it goes to the bullet points, and then it follows this line. So whenever we change topics, we just had it move throughout the screen. And you can kind of get crazy with it. You can change the color, change it into the deep dive. You can do whatever you want. But we did this by creating an InDesign and just lining things up. So you can see this vertical line. All you did was copy this. You go to this page, right click, paste in place. It copies it right where it was, wherever you or it pastes it right where it was, where you copied it from. Then you can move it around, you'd move this up. You'd extend it. But then when you export your JPEGs into InDesign, PowerPoint, sorry, it's going pretty slow. Transitions. And then we just gave it a vertical transition. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, that's how you can use, those are some things that you can use InDesign to your benefit when giving presentation. I know it's really high level. I didn't want to get into a lot of the details because that would probably take a while. If you do want to learn about master pages, layout, some of the things I talked about, of course you can definitely feel free to ask me. I'd be happy to give you some quick tips, or if you did experiment in InDesign for your presentation, you can show it to me. I'm sure any of the other mentors would be happy to give you a quick critique. But in terms of actually using the software, lynda.com is a great website for InDesign. It's just lynda.com. And you can actually get to this through IUware. And that'll allow you to watch everything for free. And I'm pretty sure they'll even give you some files to work with if you want. But anyways, that's about it. That's all I have. Hope it helps. Again, if anything is unclear or you have any additional questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys' presentations next week. See you later.